just who picked?
I'm a human.
It was Bear and Bear, right? 50. You said 50% of men would be inclined to.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is that's what it feels. I'm saying that's what it feels like to me. But I'm not in your head, and that's why I just feel comfortable not being alone with men.
It has nothing to do with my head. It's what you think.
When I'm saying you, I'm talking about men as a group.
Right. I know.
I'm not talking about you specifically. I don't want to be in a room alone with you, but I don't think you'd harm me either if we were in a room alone. I just am saying I don't know how men think, but I don't think men think like me, where they're like, oh, she's pretty, okay, let's continue. I think they think, oh, she's pretty, what's she look like naked? Does she know how to suck dick? Like, I think they think those things, and that's what makes me uncomfortable.
And you say you don't have a bias against men?
I didn't say I don't have a bias against men.
You literally said, I don't have a bias against men.
I didn't say that verbatim. I never said the word bias once this whole conversation. No. Can you replay the clip I said the word bias?
No. I'm pretty sure I asked if you have a bias against men, and you said, no, I do not.
I said that I'd love to.
How is that any different?
It's completely different. I'm saying.
How is it different?
I'm trying to explain. You keep interrupting the same fucking question.
Go ahead.
Let me answer it. So, Jesus Christ. So, I am happy
Please don't use the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, poor baby. Are you offended?
Go ahead.
Oh, what a poor baby. So anyway, I'm happy to work with men who. I want to work with people as human beings. I don't want them to look at me sexually. I don't want to look at them sexually. I want them to see the intelligence I have. I want to see the creativity they have, vice versa. I want to feed off of each other. I want to be in the work environment with people who want to work towards the same things I want to work with, regardless of gender. I'm just saying, I'm choosing not to be alone with men, really, in any respect, and that's not me having a bias against them. That's the way I choose to live my life. I don't hate you guys. I just don't want to fuck you.
Do you know what prejudice means?
Why is that a problem?
Do you know what prejudice means?
Are you prejudiced because you don't want to be fucked in the ass by a man? You have your own preferences. I don't want to be alone with a man. That doesn't mean I hate you guys or have a bias against you. I don't feel comfortable with you.
You don't want to get fucked in the ass, so you hate gay people?
Let me ask you.
Yeah,
so,
you don't hate gay people. I'm not assuming that, but I'm assuming you don't want to have sex with a man. That's your preference. I don't think you're biased.
What does that have to do with bias or prejudice?
Because you're saying because I don't want to be alone with a man, that means I have a bias against them.
Well, hold on.
I cannot feel safe around you and choose to exist in the world around men.
Tell me if this is correct. So, you said that I bet if most men saw me, they would think this. They would think, oh, she's attractive. Damn.
Modest Heathen donated $200.
Thank you.
900% red tank top wished that Trump's assassin was successful, but also says little brain dead shit like I wish death on no one. Sorry, Brixon. YouTube will hate this. When will you be on Rumble?
Yo, Hakama, thank you, man, for the TTS. Really good to see you back, man. It's been a while, so thank you. Appreciate it. Really quick.
For the record, I don't wish death upon Donald Trump. I just don't want him to be my president. But I don't want him to be. I don't wish harm upon literally anyone.
Okay,
and that's hard for people to believe because other people, I think, do wish that, and they don't agree with me because they don't know what it's like.
Thank you, Hakama. So
going
back to this. So you said something along the lines of, if I recall correctly, that if a man were to see you in the forest, that he would think something along the lines of, wow, she's attractive. I wonder if she sucks dick good. I wonder how she looks naked. Did you say that essentially?
I've had that experience.
No.
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes, I did say that because I've had that experience.
How is that not precisely a prejudice and a bias against men to assume, to presuppose that is precisely what a majority of men is going to think?
I never said the majority. I said maybe it's 50-50, maybe it's less. I don't know what it is, but I do know for a fact that some men think that way because they've told me to my face and they've shown me in their actions. I don't think all men feel that way, but that's because I know some of them do. I just choose to not be alone.
It's true. Men do undress women, and that's okay as long as they don't act. They undress women in their minds, as long as they don't act inappropriately.
I understand you've been victimized. I get that. Let us assume for a second that you grew up in the hood, okay, and you were white, and you were being victimized by people who lived in this demographic, and so later, right, when somebody asked you, would you rather be on an island with a person who was black or a person who was white, and they said always a person who was white, would they be being prejudiced?
Not necessarily, because that's what I'm saying is these are the thinking that we need to break down is I had to come to that point with men. I was a man hater. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a man hater anymore because I've realized they're not all that way. That doesn't mean I want to get close to you necessarily, but it's the same thing that, but yeah, let me continue. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I don't necessarily think that. Like, I think if you had the living shit beat out of you by a black person and then you instinctively felt fear of a black person, like, that's not necessarily wrong. That's PTSD. However, if you choose to allow that belief to color your life and color the way you treat black people forever, you have responsibility to change that.
Well, then this is exactly, Brian, then you really have just made Brian's point. I have broken down.
I don't feel hatred towards men anymore. I just really don't want my life to revolve around you. That's it.
But let's reverse this, right?
You can do your life and be happy.
Uno reverso.
I just don't want to be a part of it.
Right? Okay, so if a white person was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I just don't ever want to be in the room with a black person.
I mean, like, again, if they choose to go hide in their house, like, as long as they're not actively harming black people because of their fear, they can think, anyone can think whatever they want in their head as long as they're not actively harming others.
Yeah, but is it correct for them to think that?
It's not correct or incorrect to think anything. What's incorrect are actions. You can think whatever you want, but once you take those thoughts and make them actions.
So if they said out loud, I don't want to be in a room with a person because they're a different race than me.
That's something they need to. It's something they need to be like. I understand and have compassion for myself because the trauma I experienced made me feel this way. But I need to recognize that that's something I need to break down. Like, that's part of growing up and maturing. Is like I had to realize a lot of the things that traumatized me as a child. Like, the whole world isn't that way. Like, that's why I'm here talking to you guys. I was walking down the street to get tacos with my fiance. I didn't know I was going to be on this weird conservative talk show with two men. But like, I just like I'm not afraid of you. I'm not wanting to not have discourse with you. But if you were like, come home with me after this, I'd be like, no, thank you, because that's not what I want.
That's not even what we're. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying is I just don't want my life to revolve around you. It doesn't mean I don't want to work with you. It doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you on TV and understand your point of view. I think it's fascinating. I totally disagree, but it's fascinating, and I like to learn from you. But I don't want it to go beyond that. That's literally it.
Let me
that's
ask
the end of the story.
a quick follow up. So, if you're on an island, let's say there's no bear.
Yeah.
Okay. You're just on an island, and you are told before you go on, you're given a crystal ball, so you can look into the person's heart, and you know for sure he's not thinking anything about you that way, nothing like that, but he hates feminists. So he's like, look, if we're magically being transported to this island against our choice, right, is he obligated in any way, shape, or form to help you?
No, but I'm not obligated to help him or have sex with him. Like, that's what I'm saying. We're not obligated to do anything to each other.
He doesn't want anything like that.
If he doesn't want anything to do with me, I would respect that. Just like I would expect him to respect that about me back. That's
so
it.
If you're starving to death on this island, and he has a big, boar that he just took down, right? And you would agree he'd probably be better at that because, like you said, you're 90 pounds, right? So
Unless I had a gun, I could do it alone.
Yeah, no, okay. So he fashions a spear out of like vines and shit, right? He goes, takes this boar out. He's cooking. You're starving to death. Right? Does he have any obligation to give you that boar?
Morally, I mean, I think it's kind of rude of him not to, but that's the kind of person I am, is if he didn't want shit to do with me, I would turn around and I'd catch a bigger boar and figure it out. Because the thing is like, a lot of this is not just all about bronze, it's about intelligence. Like, if I have the tools, I can do the same thing men can do. I just need the tools because I don't have the arm muscle. That doesn't make me less...
Yeah, you have no tools.
Yeah. Well, if I'm on an island, I can make some tools.
Yes.
Guess what? Part of my troubled teen industry story was I was one of those girls in those wilderness camps. I had to make a fire out of random fibers of plants and sticks. Like, I literally actually learned how to do all that shit. I'm sure I could figure it out. But I think it'd be really rude of him. And if it was vice versa and he was starving and I was the one that caught the boar, my nature as a person is I would share with him.
But he has no obligation to?
But not necessarily, no. Because I'm not... that's what I'm saying. I can take care of me. I don't need you guys to protect me.
That's all.
I felt
just wanted to hear
safer
it.
living with a woman than I ever have.
So I will move it on here. I guess really quick. So you said it's about 50-50 for the men.
Maybe that's what it seems like to me from my limited worldview experience, but I
Okay.
haven't seen the whole world and I haven't met every man.
But you
it
think
seems
it's
like that way.
You
feels
think
like
it's
it.
probably 50-50.
Feels that way.
50% of
Sometimes,
men.
Some days it really feels that way.
Okay, and then you said bear too. What if you had to attribute a percentage? What percentage of men do you think would victimize women in this scenario? Into the mic.
I mean, I guess it's hard for me to know. I guess it just depends. My experience is it's more than 50% because that's my interaction. If I go through the list of men, and for me, I would say more like 75.
75%.
But in general, I don't know. It's
Sure.
probably less.
Okay.
But I also just want to add. Oh, never mind.
Hold
It's
on.
fine.
We'll come back.
Butler donated $200. Brixton, I've never seen a panel
What
where
the hell, bro?
100%
Oh my
of
dude,
them
it's
is
Jay
infected
Butler.
with
He's back
genital
too.
herpes. Congratulations, you've really outdone yourself this
Bro,
time.
everybody's coming out the
Absolutely
woodwork.
filthy. Excuse me while I choke on my own vomit.
What the hell?
When's
Yo,
the
Jay
last
Butler.
time you got tested, buddy?
We've been
like a high
missing
school
you, bro.
insult.
Maddie,
You have
when was the last
herpes.
time?
When's the last time
When's the
everyone
last
got
time we saw
tested?
Jay Butler? Months. We've been missing your herpes talk, bro. Hold on. I got something
He's
for
a
you.
brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
Dude, Jay Butler, where you been, bro? We've been waiting on the herpes conversation.
basement.
But just for context, guys, he would every show send in a message about always herpes. He's a doctor.
It's a
bro.
guilty conscience.
I was going to say, he has
He's a
something going on.
urologist.
Suppressed.
Jay Butler's a urologist. Anyways, so you said 75% of men in the scenario.
But I do just want to, I think the main point for me is that I am trying to change that initial bias that, okay, I don't know all men, and I don't think I have to believe that it's actually the opposite of what I think, and that men don't want to attack us. You know, I hope that's true, but when it keeps happening, it makes me lose faith, honestly. So it's hard for me to believe when I'm constantly looking, and even that's why I'm here today, because I'm interested in people's opinions and thoughts. But yeah, so I would hope it's less, but in my experience, that unfortunately hasn't been the case.
And if we reverse the question and we ask, do you think a man would prefer to be stuck in the forest with a woman or a bear? What would your answer be?
I hope they don't pick me.
Not you, a random woman or a random bear. Which one do you think a man would choose?
They would probably, depending on who they are, their character, their morals, they could choose a woman. They could choose a bear. As long as it's not me, I really don't care.
So
Which one do you think they would choose?
Depends on the man.
Okay.
Generally speaking, probably women.
So-
They would probably
What do you
choose a
think?
woman.
I would think typically women. Yeah.
The bear. Women are terrifying. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They'd probably go with the woman.
I'd say the women for companionship. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's the woman. This
they
is men we're
expect a woman
talking
to
about. Come on.
Yeah, definitely the
be their
woman.
companion.
Come on now.
If my boyfriend answered the question, he'd say he doesn't want to get me too'd.
Okay.
Oh,
Here, final thing on this.
I have a
So
lot to say
going
about
back to the 75% number that you gave and the 50% number that you gave, there are 165 million men in the United States. Using your percentages, are you prepared to say that in the United States, over about 80 million men in the United States would be inclined to victimize a woman in the scenario? And then for you, are you prepared to say that 127 million men in the United States would be prepared to victimize a woman in the scenario? Go ahead.
No, I don't think so. And that's my whole point, is that I truly believe that I'm creating a statistic in my mind because you want a specific answer, but I really can only answer based on my experience and can hope that it's less.
Yeah.
So I think that would be wrong for me to say,
Yeah,
yes,
I
that
think I get
many
it.
men
You're saying
do
your
that.
intuition's telling you one thing, but
Yeah.
your rational brain's telling you
Right,
that's
and that's
probably
what I'm
not true.
saying. I'm trying to be rational and not avoid like interaction with men. Like I'm not going to run away.
Well, then if you were to
but-
rationalize, so now you have like this intuitive battle. My intuition tells me one thing, my reason's telling me something, which is pushing back against intuition, which happens sometimes. If you were to only use the rational, absent the intuition, which is really hard to untangle, but assuming you were to only try to look at it from that purview, would your answer change as to how many men you think would be prepared to do that?
No, I think that I would want there to be more. How do I say this? I think the amount of assaults and things like that are underreported anyway. So if we had more accurate numbers, then I feel, because I know the statistics about how many men and women are being hurt, but I don't like. I think I know it's more likely people that they know. So I think that's what makes me scared and not willing to trust men, because it's not the strangers. It's
Yeah, but you're going with a random guy.
Yeah, but if we're going with a random man, then I don't know. It's still so, like you said, I want to go rational and want to believe that men would want to step up and protect women, because that's what. But also, there's no obligation to, because I do believe in free will. So.
Do you think that, because this, just so you know, this answer is given a lot, where they think the percentages are really high. And it's based on that intuition that often it's underreported, things like this. But if you were a man in modernity and you heard women saying this, that they believe that over 50% of men in the U.S. population are in some way willing to assault them, why the hell would you ever want to go around women?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. And
Why
that's
would you
what
ever in a million
No, I
years
know.
want to ever go
I
around
think
women?
I think that's why this is kind of another topic, but why it's kind of what I was saying earlier, why men are so lost in the sauce right now. I mean, earlier we talked about, what was it, X age, men being the predominant ones in our society who take their lives. And I think we've done, not a great job at navigating and like I said, kind of crucifying them and villainizing them to where it's too much, to where they're now like, well, what do I do? Even their instincts, like, do I do this, and they're just lost in their identity right now. And that's, a problem.
Have any of you ever opened up the Citizens app and saw how many registered sex offenders live within proximity of you?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
But because if we're going to talk
A lot
about...
of them are female teachers.
I'm not saying...
And that makes me sick as well. That makes me sick that
it's
women
all
do that.
disgusting.
It does.
So the thing is like, yeah, there's not that many, by the way. Even if you had within your proximity 100 people, you don't really realize how many people are actually in your proximity, probably.
There's probably more than the ones who are pictured because
so
of
much.
underreported crimes.
Yeah, but
So
even
you
if that
agree.
were true and you were to double it, it would still be a really tiny sample of that population.
But you agree that there's...
Well, I think
More
one,
than what's
I think
listed on
I
the
think one
Citizens
is
app.
too many, right? But I'm still rational about this, right? So I'm saying even if one is too many, and I prefer that there wasn't even one within this proximity. If there was 100, if you're living in the the middle of downtown Santa Barbara, that's a really low number.
But the chance is never zero.
Well,
Yeah, it wouldn't be
So-
zero if there was none.
so I guess I do want to move it on to the
Unfortunately,
next thing. I still would just like to pose the question one more time, and I'll even use your lower number of 50%. After
Isaiah
this
Flute
TTS.
donated $200.
Yo, Isaiah, thank you, man.
Andrew, this seems like half of a panel of junkies and sex workers. Good luck, because they are not able to logically think.
Well, I disagree. I think that some people on the panel actually, in comparison to many of the panels, have given reasoned arguments that I can at least engage with. So I'm happy about that.
I think it's been a
Nice.
pretty fantastic panel.
I think you're
Nice.
just...
Except her, because she's on a fucking journey. But everybody else has been doing fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
I'll read this really quick. John
Exactly.
Green, I don't know these men can understand what 50% or more are thinking. How much do they know about bears? They are 100% looking for food. John Green, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate
Yeah, but
it.
she's saying her intuition doesn't match her reason. So she's saying that they're in conflict with each other.
Yeah, that happens all
So
the time.
so you're making a rationalization.
Yeah, and I
You're
think that's
saying,
important
I know I'm wrong, but I still feel this way.
Yeah.
And so that's a rationalization.
Yeah, and I don't think that separating men and women, and especially because I'm not straight, so I can't take away from that. Like most people are straight and men love women and women love men. So I don't have the same, like, I don't need a man in my life.
Butler donated $200.
Thank you, man.
The cautionary tale of plastic surgery and tattoos sitting in front of Brixton is clearly suffering the neurological damage of a genital herpes infection. Joe Biden speaks more lucid than this creature.
Jay
Did your
Butler.
mother ever love you, sweetheart?
Not Joe Biden.
Would she be proud of the way you sit here and talk about women or any men? You're really...
He's a urologist.
I mean, would your father be proud of how you talked about men?
He was I can't say the word, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I'm
Then
just.
it goes back
do-
to... There was a comment
Well,
earlier
maybe his
about
mom
would
was
you be... Can you say this to your brothers
Yeah.
and fathers and stuff? And the ones who do it, yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe his mom was as well.
No, that's what I'm saying. We all are how we are for a reason.
Well-
We all have full lives, and I want to
Okay.
not judge men
Yeah.
based on my experiences.
Yeah.
So, Jay Butler, thank you, man.